Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Guys, I've used professionals to help me perform my best in the cage. Now, our show sponsor, BetterHelp, can help you perform better in life. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist in just 48 hours. This is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's a professional counseling done securely, online at your convenience from anywhere in the world. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 14,000 plus counselor network. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you'll never have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room again. It's more affordable than traditional online counseling, and financial aid is available. Visit betterhelp.com/Chael. That's going to save you 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Chimaev and Leon Edwards have a date. It's going to be in March. Great welcome to old news, right? I mean, in all fairness, a little hard to get excited for a fight that we already got excited for, dimmed down, got excited for a second time, dimmed down, and got excited for again. My excitement is equal. I'm not less excited. I'm happy that it's happening, but I think it's a closer look at that division. I can't remember in recent memory, and definitely not in present time, a division as confusing as 170 pounds is right now, okay? If somebody was to ask me, Chael, do you predict that Chimaev will fight for a championship within 2021? My prediction would be yes. And don't forget, he has two different weight classes. It's still unclear, is he a 70-pounder or is he an 85-pounder? He's about to hold a very big ranking at 170 if he gets past Leon. Big if, tremendous. But that's probably a clue for us that he's going to stay at 170. I'm completely fine with that. I don't think a guy has to bounce back and forth, even though I did enjoy the gimmick while it lasted. When I say I've never seen a weight class more confusing, guys, let's juxtapose this against 145 pounds up into the night Amanda and Cyborg fought, okay? Until Amanda Nunes went up and took on Chris Cyborg. Prior to that, if you were a female at 145 pounds and you simply raised your hand, you were now the number one contender and you were going to be fighting Cyborg for a world championship on a main event of pay-per-view. That is not to put anyone down and that is not to put anybody over. That is a simple commentary on the lack of competitiveness within a division. I bring that to your attention because it's the most recent example I have to put against 170 right now, which is completely competitive. Yet we don't seem to have two guys that want to fight one another. 170 pounds right now is as hard as 170's ever been. There's never been an era of 170 quite as loaded as it is right now. And we have a hard time getting two guys to fight each other. Don't forget, even on Chimaev and Leon, that fight was resisted repeatedly until it wasn't. And we've been told that Leon's side was finally told, if you win this, you will fight for a championship. We've been told that, whether that's accurate or not. But that's a big gun that you have to bring out to draw somebody to the table. We've got Colby and Masvidal doing who knows what between the two of them. They've been in the octagon one time in the last year. Whatever's going on there. You've got Ponzinibbio, who I believe is a willful participant, but for some reason has just not caught the imagination of the media. You then, of course, have Burns, who's getting ready to take on Usman, but it still leaves you with what is Woodley up to. And even if you're telling me Woodley's not a top contender, he still matters within the division. Nobody is calling him out. Neil Magny appears to be busy with Chiesa. Neil Magny gets a pass on everything I just talked about. On anybody at 170 who's trying to duck and dodge and not do hard things, okay, with one exception, which is Neil Magny. He's willing to do anything with anybody. But I just bring that to you because it is very different, isn't it? I mean, if you were to look back at 145 where you had a lack of competitiveness and you could become a championship contender by raising your hand, and it was hard to get people to even do that. Now you've got 170 where it's iron on top of iron, but it's very hard to get some of these matches together. I think that there are better candidates at 170 to be in instant elimination and or number one contenders matches. I think that there are better candidates than Chimaev versus Leon, but there's nobody else that's signed. People have been making the Ponzinibbio argument forever. I'm not against that idea, but who is his next opponent? Who has he called out and who has called him out? Masvidal said, I want to fight Usman. I learned enough on short notice in this fight to know what it takes to beat him. I'm in for that storyline. Let's give Masvidal a full training camp and see what happens, but who is he willing to go through in the meantime? Colby has been absent for a year, always a great choice for number one contender, but he's going to need to compete with somebody in the short term. I mean, do you see what's going on at 170? It's just a very bizarre division. Then one of the biggest stars at 170 pounds, Nate Diaz, who has removed himself from the discussions, is now reportedly coming back, but going to do it at a different weight. I mean, have you ever just stared and examined from, just stand back and look at 170 pounds? I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like this.